Hi. What's up, everyone? So, we're hanging on the side of the road. I got dandruff, apparently. I'm such a slob. Hi, everybody. We got 8 people on here, and I'm streaming from my laptop this time. And for the very first time on my channel, I'm ready to go in this live stream. No setting up anything different. No waiting for me to pop up my chat like I always do at the beginning. We are ready to rock and roll. I have a video ready to go today, but I was like, yeah, let's just do a live stream instead. It's been a while since I've done one. I haven't done a live stream since I was in Ontario, actually. You guys hear me all right? It's all good here? Check 1, 2. So we are running everything today from my laptop because what I've been doing lately on my live streams, because I've been running my live streams off of my cellular data, I've been streaming from my cell phone that I use for filming. And then I tether my laptop to the same. So I'm like double tapping my data just to get a live stream up and going. So this time I thought I would cut out the 2 data sources and use one. Feels good today. All right. Let's see who's in here today. I was unsure about doing one today because I figured everybody would be busy doing like Halloween stuff or parties or things like that. But hey, let's try a little live stream right now. So right now is a great time to ask me anything, especially when there's only 200 people on here, because now is a good time to get those questions in before other people get in and they get missed. Marco, thank you so much for the super chat. So ask away, get it quick before people come on here and everything gets avoided. I am doing great today. Thanks for asking, Stephen. So Halloween, we have 0 plans for tonight. Last night where I slept, we slept right down by the ocean in North Vancouver. And it was a little loud. I'm surprised Cruz didn't freak out, because last year when Halloween came around with all the fireworks outside, Cruz didn't like it at all. So far, so good this year, because it got pretty loud around my van last night. When is the Jackery draw for those batteries? That will be, I will announce that draw before November 15th. I'm doing the name, I'll be pulling the winner on the 1st, which is tomorrow. Then I have to send those things over to Jackery for Jackery to confirm that they're subscribed to both of us and that they're in Canada, the US. So that'll be done between the 1st and the 15th. I'll make a video about that. Christopher, thank you so much for the love, man. What's on your walls? Can't find it. That's this stuff here is the same stuff that's on my walls. It's just a wood paneling. So it's an MDF board, like just a thin board. I got these at Lowe's, which I know was Canada and in the US as well too. But it's just a print, a wood print over top of a 4x8 foot sheet of wood. And I've got my walls done with it, my ceiling done with it. It's great. It doesn't take abuse well. Like if you were to accidentally like hit it with a fork, it would literally scratch, because it's just a paper print stuck to it, right? So I mean, it weathers okay on the wall, but if you actually abuse it, it won't last very long. Don't put that on your floor, by the way. I know someone put it on the floor. It didn't last very long. Pogi, thank you so much for that. Man, I need to, YouTube has made it so these chats will go by slower if I choose that option, but they need to make it so I can make the font bigger for us old people. Oh, all right, here we go. That's a little better. Romano, thank you so much for that. Rolling to 100K was insane. Like, that was a mind boggle. Am I wearing the wrong glasses? Oh no, these are the right ones. Rolling over to 100K was a pretty crazy thing, man. I was like a little overwhelmed that day. I didn't know how to feel. Idgy, thank you so much for that. I had tons of questions. Having a blonde moment, forgot. Idgy, thank you so much for the support and love. That stuff really means a lot to us. Press Control Plus. I'm going to try that. If this messes up my stream. Oh, snap. Whoa. Thank you so much for that tip. Control Plus makes everything like old man readable. That is like the best tip I've had in a very, very long time. Woo! Thank you. Yeah, that was awesome. When you're old, getting font bigger like this so you can read things, way better. Ruthie, thank you so much, Ruthie. Oh, this 100K thing's been wild. And since we rolled over to 100K, like what's that, 2 days ago, we've gained just about 1,500 new weirdos to the family here. So it's beer time. I don't know what time it is where you're at, but it's Halloween and I'm celebrating. Better to have a beer than a box of 150 pieces of like candies, like or like Kit Kats. And do you guys have a Kit Kat bar in the US? Anyway, you guys, we all have different things in different places that we are. So I'm celebrating right now. Woohoo! This is our Halloween party. I kind of, you know what, believe this or not, I kind of like it that we only have 470 people on here today. It makes these a little bit easier to go through and read your guys' comments. I love it. Clifford's so awesome. I have a lot of people on my channel that watch that have no interest to ever live in a van. They just like the travel and adventure side of things. So super cool to have you here with us. Why every Q&A I only see the end of the live stream? Zeus, this is the very beginning of the live stream. We just started 7 minutes ago, so you're right on time. You guys are good. I can't believe this zoom in, zoom out thing. So that just changed my whole life, man. So if you're on a Mac and you can't read, Control Plus or minus to make it bigger or smaller. So cool. Tina, thank you for that. I was online the other day. I just seen James said he's trying to get a van. I was online the other day just checking out to see what's out there for camper vans. There's a lot of camper vans out there for sale right now. I know what I found is a better place because we have like our big thing out here is Craigslist is more popular than like Kijiji, but I find that Facebook Marketplace has been like the best place to look for things. So I found a set of side doors for my van. So you know my little barn doors that open? There's a whole lot of rusted rot along the bottom of the one door. We tried to fix it a little over a year ago when we did some of my rust work, but the body shop guys like, dude, that door is rotted. You need to get a new door. Well, I found 2 of them. So I'm just waiting for the guy to send me back some more pictures. And if they're nice, I might go pick them up and just go rent a storage locker for a bit until I can get over to Vancouver Island and just store the doors. Then, yeah, I think we might be replacing those side doors just to fix the rust on the bottom. But if I do redo the side doors, that means all this work, all this stuff has to completely be redone because the wood that's on the top side of those things are actually glued to the insulation. So that stuff is not going to be coming off without damaging it. And all the stuff down there in the bottom, I cut that out myself. So the side cuts are like all along here are a little bit frayed up and like not frayed, like it's not a nice cut. I didn't do a good job at it. But if you guys, I don't know if you noticed, but these doors are pretty scratched up, like on the white. This used to be a delivery van before I got it. So the doors were pretty banged up and scratched up. And when I put everything on it, all the scratches and stuff look like garbage. And I was like, whatever, it is what it is. I wasn't in the position at the time when those doors got put together to do insulation, to paint the doors or anything like that. That was beyond me at the time. So if these doors work out that I found on Facebook Marketplace, the insides of them are perfect. They're in such good shape, like probably 500 or 600% better condition than mine are. Oh my God, they're insane. So I'm hopefully they'll work out and I can pick up those doors, and yeah, we can get rid of that rust on the bottom, which would be super awesome. Another level, thank you so much for that. Hey Chrome, me and my family love watching your videos. As soon as possible, we're coming to Canada. Oh, so awesome. Ruthie, Ruthie, you've been super kind with us on these live streams, and thank you. A month of internet on you. Thank you so much. You paid for my internet last month, Ruthie. So cool. You guys are super nice, man. I love you guys for always having our backs. Julian, this is super funny. I've had a lot of people ask me, be honest, why I don't come to the US. You know what? Honestly, to be honest, I have no need to go down there. I have no need to take my travels and run all over the planet and do these great big long drives to get to these destinations when I just kind of started my van life 3 years ago. And the way I look at that is I don't plan on stopping this lifestyle. So why get over ambitious with my travels? Because I see lots of YouTube channels that are covering the US, but they always drive way over here and then way over there. And then, you know, I have to come back to Vancouver as my home base always because my daughter's here. So I always have to come back here for the winter time just to spend some time with her. And then we go back out and travel again. So the way I look at things is if I were to leave to go to the US right now, which would mean long bound drives down to do things to come all the way back here for the winter. So my mindset right now is because I live here, because I've never my whole 46 now, been in my van for 3 years. So we'll say 43 years I lived in this country and never really left Vancouver very much. So to me, it's like, okay, let's give Canada all the running around that I need to give it until my daughter is finished with school. Then I'm out. As soon as she is 18 and done, I am gone, which means at that point, I'll come to the US. Because the way I look at Canada now is like all the running around we've been doing in 3 years, I have barely seen this country. So until I feel like, okay, I feel like I've conquered Canada, then I'll cross the border. But on this note, last year, I just about ran across the border because the winter in Vancouver got to me really fast. And it was like pretty rainy last winter. And I was like, I am ready to leave and go to the US. So, you know, this year, if it wasn't for COVID, I might have made the trek down just to avoid the Vancouver winter. But if I do that, that would mean I would have to shift my traveling around. I would have to travel in the winter, stay in Vancouver for the summer, which wouldn't be so bad either. But seeing my daughter in the summer, I get in the way of her doing things with her friends that way. At least in the wintertime, she's here, she's at school. You know what I mean? I'm not getting in the way of like camping trips with her friends or going out with her family. You know what I mean? So wintertime just kind of works out a little bit better for me in that aspect. But one day, I'll come down there. I'll come down there so much you guys will be freaking sick of me. I just love my country. John's like, no more Canada travel. Get down to the US. Give me a year or 2 years or 3 years until I'm sick of this place. Somebody has to document Canada. There's very few van lifers out here that are seriously documenting Canada. A lot of the Canadian vanners are down in like other countries with their vans, or do you know what I mean? A lot of the van lifers that used to could do lots of van life have all bought homes that live in Canada now. So things have changed. So far out there right now in Canada that I know on the YouTube side of things, it would be Me, Foresty Forest. I don't know if there's any other channels that are Slim Potato Head. That'd be another one. I just learned about his channel like a couple months ago. But that are actually out there showing Canada. Where if you look at the US, there is like handfuls upon handfuls upon handfuls upon handfuls of van channels that are covering your area. So, yeah. Tupperware Freak, thanks for the love. Tara, thank you. Preston Jones, thank you for that. No, my passport ran out about a year ago, give or take a year ago, and I just haven't had the need to redo the passport. And until all this COVID stuff's over anyway, I have no interest on leaving here. So, but that is one of my biggest questions: when, never, soon. Danica is growing up pretty quick. She's getting to be quite the colorful girl, which is pretty awesome. Oh, Van Wives is another one too, as well too. But they've been down in the States a lot, documenting a lot of stuff and very little Canada. They're back here now. But you got to think about those channels. A lot of them jump the border. Like, we have a beautiful country here. I would rather be out here filming in my own country. Super cool. Yeah, I actually I caught Foresty Forest live stream for like 10 minutes this morning. I pulled up my little computer and boop, popped up there. I'm like, oh, sweet. I popped in and said a quick hello. Tupperware Freak, thank you. Lisa Marie Coleman, thank you for that. I made you an awesome Bulldog bracelet. How do I send it to you? Lisa, send me through an email and just write that exact thing in the email, and I'll get you the address. I pulled my address off the internet because too many people were sending me larger items that I just didn't have. I don't got space and stuff. So Martin, like you just said, what about Eamon and Beck? They've been traveling outside of Canada for years. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of those people don't document Canada very well. You know what I mean? And if you, even if you watch channels like Eamon and Beck, if they're like, okay, we're in Toronto, we're, you know, before you know it, they're in Toronto, and their next video, they're in Vancouver. Like, what about that whole travel in between? You know what I mean? A lot of guys, they're just not traveling here. They hit destinations and then they're out. Am I ready for snow this year? I got a funny feeling Vancouver's going to get rocked with snow this year. There's been a lot of talk around here that we're going to get a bad winter. And I don't know what a bad winter means in Vancouver. Last year we had a bad winter, but that was like 4 days of snow. What's coming this year? 5 days of snow? No. Yeah, I don't know what, but yeah, but they do say that Vancouver is going to get it pretty bad. So who knows? We'll see. There is a ton of snowbirds out here right now. So almost, like, not most, but a lot of the Canadian snowbirds that normally go down to the States have come up here. So, and I've seen a lot of out of town plates. Like, I slept behind a Mercedes last night from Quebec yesterday. There's been a lot of out of province plates here. Hey, Izzy. Glad to see you on the stream here. You like snow. It's because you're from Quebec City. That's why. Because that's where snow goes. It can stay out there. We're good. We're good without it. Super nice. Oh, this new window has been a complete dream to have. You know, it's nice at night if I need to adjust the temperature, just to kind of give it a crack open above my head. The wind comes right over top of my pillows. This was an upgrade that I should have done from the beginning. It has changed everything. Like right now, if it gets a bit stuffy back here, all I got to do is crack that window open a little bit. And this little cover has kind of worked out pretty good. It's just a piece of the template that originally came out of the inside of this when Happy Camper Kits was cutting it, and it seriously just like pops in there. You know, it's not meant to be in there. That wasn't what it was meant for. It was just like a byproduct that kind of worked. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to cover this with probably like a vinyl material or like something so it looks good, and it sits in here a little bit tighter, because right now when it's in there, there's been a few times I've hit a few bumps and it's popped out. But if it had a bit of material on the outside that I could just like shove in there so it was tight, it might stay better. Oh yeah, I love it. Think about it. Like, back of my van used to be completely dark. This just adds a nice little, I don't know. I really like it. Does that wreck the light on my live stream? Oh, it does a little bit. Washes it out a bit. Pretty sweet. So yeah, the window that's in back here, I think it's from a company called C.R. Lawrence or something. I don't know. I bought it from the guys at Re-Outfitted. Their distributor carries it. But yeah, CR or CL Lawrence or something like that. The window was like a touch over $400 Canadian, which was really great. Do I ever change up my earrings? No, these are attached, baby. Like, these are like that. These go all the way around, and then that bolt is crimped shut. It's on there. Like, these are not coming out. You'd have to take a pair of pliers and bend them open in order to get the ball out of here that holds it all together. So no. These are the second set of earrings I've had since I was 18 years old. I've only had 2 sets. It's been pretty awesome. Oh, we're missing some things in here. On another level, thanks for the super chat. Honestly, how do Canadians view Americans coming to your country? Right now, Canada is not welcoming Americans at all, and I know that they're giving out some pretty hefty fines when they find American license plates at parks and stuff, because Americans are allowed in Canada if they're going home to Alaska, or if they're going to Alaska, but they're giving them a short window to get to Alaska, because Alaska is on the other side of Canada, which is a part of the US, if you didn't know. But a lot of times those travelers are crossing the border, stopping at a park in Banff National Park and going for a hike, and that is not allowed. So they're actually quite heavy penalties. But yeah, but the Canadian border has kind of stayed itself locked down to American travel. I know the American border is a little different, allowing us to cross over, but until this BS is over, I don't want to. Bart, thank you so much for that. Hey, Chrome, first time to catch a live. It's been 2 years now. I bought a 2011 Ford Econoline Extended with a high top. Pretty sweet. Oh, that's awesome, Bart. Starting with a high top is pretty cool, too. I don't know what a high top's like, so, you know, I'm enjoying my low roof. Cody, thanks for that. How old is my van? My van is a 2004 Ford E250 extended version. Yeah, 2004, and currently right now it has 275,000 kilometers. Hey Siri, what is 275,000 kilometers in miles?
275,000 kilometers is 170,877.
There you go, 170,000 miles on my van for all you American folks, or folks that don't do it in the same. We do kilometers up here. Angela, thank you. Congratulations on 100K. I've followed you for 3 years. So awesome. You have worked hard through back pains, knee pains. Oh yeah. Hurt my back twice living in this van. I don't know, Scott, you just asked what about Badge. If you're talking about Canadian YouTubers that show Canadian travel, Badge would not be one of those people either. Did you find a digital cartoonist? We got a ton of messages on Instagram and a ton of emails. I haven't had the chance to go through all of them yet because there is a lot of people. And because I have so many different ideas for merchandise for Cruz and for merch that has my van on the front. Like I want a really rad cartoon van of mine with, I guess, so many ideas that I think I might be able to use more than one digital cartoonist. But we had a few of them reach out, and I'm just going to go through them all, check them all out. And I already had somebody draw me up something. They actually drew me something and sent it to me before they're like, hey, I could do it. What do you need? They actually just sent me one. And I was pretty impressed with it. It looked really good. So they're going to work on some changes on it. And but yeah, I'd like to release all sorts of different kinds of merchandise for Cruz. You know, it's nice to do one, but it's also nice every couple of months to release a new design too, because yeah, it makes it fun. And I wouldn't mind wearing multiple different designs and stuff like that with Cruz's face on it. You know what I mean? Like I've been rocking my usual merchandise, like this van life because normal life sucks one's been on my merch store for a long time. And it sells good sometimes and sometimes not so much, but I love this thing. I just wouldn't mind more, some more different ones, especially for Cruz, and some really rad ones of my van. I also have a serious series of ideas for just van life related shirts. So that will be something I'll be working with if I can find those cartoonists that are, I think, have the style that I want. But I'd love to release a whole bunch of different van life related shirts. I have tons of ideas. I welcome all Canadians to Puerto Rico. Going to Puerto Rico would be pretty damn fun right now. Are you still planning on putting a winch on my van? No. See, a lot of times when it comes to an upgrade, like putting a winch on the front, like I'm not a 4x4 guy. I'm not about to put my van in that kind of a position. So I don't think a winch is a smart upgrade for me at this point. I think there's a few other upgrades that are needed before that point. So like I'd like to put a locking rear end on my back. So if I ever get stuck in something muddy and only one tire's turning, I can lock my diff and both tires will push me out. I think that's a better purchase than putting a winch on it for now. But because getting a winch would involve me having to put a way to mount it on the front, which means usually a custom bumper. And that means a custom front bumper and a custom back bumper. And if I were to do the Aluminess ones, because they're lighter, I'm looking at like $3,000 per bumper. They're insanely expensive, those aluminum ones. There's a few guys around here in Vancouver area that do make them, but it's not an upgrade that I'm interested in, not quite yet. I'm not that adventurous in the backcountry yet that I need to like fully kit out my van so it's 4x4 ready. I think with everything I've got right now, it should, you know, get me a little deeper than I'm at right now. I'm not really, when you're driving your home, it's a different feeling. Like when you're driving your car or a Jeep or a truck in the backcountry, it's a little different. It's just a car, just a truck. But when you're driving your home, you think a bit different when it comes to putting your van into sketchy situations. You're like, that's my house. You know, so you're going up somewhere and you're like, it's a really steep hill and you start to slide a little bit in the back and it's nothing but cliff. Your first thought is, let's get my house out of here. Instead of going, hey, let's full send it way up, a little farther. No. I'm that person, though, when it comes to that stuff. I'm not about to put my life and my house into jeopardy. Even if I were to survive the situation, my house is gone. So I don't think I'm going to be like going too crazy. Maybe if I built another van just for that, I probably might full send it right out there in the middle of nowhere, but you should collaborate with Camping with Steve guy. I don't even know who that is. I don't watch a lot of van life stuff or even any of that stuff on YouTube. It's never really been my thing. Like when I want to watch YouTube, I want to watch something that feeds me, you know what I mean? Like, and I think everybody out there watches content that entertains them or feeds them somehow, something that satisfies their inside. So for me, watching camping, outdoor, or van life channels is not my thing. Does my insurance cover your new van build? there's a big question mark on that one, depending on where you're at. So I live in British Columbia, Canada, and with your insurance on your vehicle, they cover up to $5,000 to anything that's bolted to your van that's aftermarket, as long as you have proof and receipts that it's bolted to your van. And I don't think a DIY build would be covered, but I know, because I have receipts for all of my build stuff, that if it were to happen because it was manufactured, I have the receipt and it's bolted to my van and I have videos out the wazoo to prove it, then yeah, they probably cover up to $5,000. But that would include anything bolted in. That would include rims, roof rack, stuff like that, but only up to $5,000, and that's it in BC. And the only reason why I know that is I have one of my subscribers who's an ICBC adjuster with ICBC, and he told me that. That was the year before last, he told me that. But there's also you can buy additional insurance from additional companies to cover that. So out here, there's one called, I should really look into that and check it out, and see if they'll let me film the whole process, because it's good advertising for them if they'll let me do it. But there's another company out here called Guardian Insurance, and it's just RV insurance. So you can cover all the contents in your van, including bikes, cameras, all of that stuff. It's not cheap, it's expensive, but like in BC, there is one other company that does it. But every area is different, whether you're from British Columbia or you're a province over in Alberta, totally different, completely different. So I don't know what insuring things are like outside of here in British Columbia. I just know from my own experiences here. Jasper, I spoke to Jasper the other day. He's doing really well with himself. He's got himself a little apartment and still has his big rig, and not sure what his plans are, but he's still he's been in his apartment for a little while, and he told me he's getting the itch to get out and go take the truck out and throw it in the dirt for a while. So yeah, he's still kicking around. He's doing really well for himself. Where's the little guy? So I'm on my laptop right now, so flipping it around and stuff's a bit of a pain, but you probably won't be able to see him, but he is in the front seat. Cruzy. Cruzy. The little homie is passed right out. Dan and a can. Nice to see you on here. Same with you, Coach. Grumpy old Van. The link to my light bar cover. No, good idea. Let me add that. Let's try to think of me. Oh, that's right. I got a pen and paper here. Good idea. Thanks for that. I'm gonna add it to my list. Links to light bar. Light bar cover. Perfect. Yeah, so like there's if you're looking for links to anything on my van, it's all on the website at vancityvanlife.ca. It's not 100% on there, but we're trying our best to kind of make sure everything always gets added to it. It's always updated. But if you go to vancityvanlife.ca, if you want to be technical, it's .ca/van. On the top of that list, you'll see all the recent upgrades we did to the van, and we will definitely add the light bar cover to that one too as well. There were just cheapy little snap things that went around. The only thing you had to make sure with those light bar covers is that your light bar was 3 or 3.5 inches tall or whatever it was, and it literally snapped over. So Dan in Cannon, Ontario said, call the cooperators. I'm guessing that's an insurance company out there for insuring your van. Didn't see the tire change on that list. Okay, I'll check on that one. Thanks for that. Mary, thank you. Aw, super sweet. Appreciate that. Roger, thanks for that. Douglas, thanks for joining the family over on YouTube. Membership's pretty cool. Oh, I'm missing a lot here. Bold, thank you. I am binge watching Super Sweet all the way from the beginning. That's rad. Ah, super cool, man. I love it when people go back and watch those early ones. There's some great moments back there. So hopefully I didn't miss anybody else's super chats here. You like, I don't get this. So, hey, Earl. So people like, I like your cooking videos. You should do more. I am not a cook, and I always find it so funny when people are like, I like your cooking videos. So me cooking is, well, this is me cooking. Hold on. I just took out lunch. Can't reach it. This is me cooking. Taking one frozen pizza, letting it thaw out, throwing it in my cast iron pan, heating the bottom up, and taking a second cast iron pan, getting it red hot, putting it over the top, creating a little bit of an oven. Boom! That's like microwave cooking without the microwave. That's my kind of cooking. I always find it funny when people I think it is just because I've done some creative things with my cast iron pan. Maybe that's what's the intriguing part. But I'm not really a huge guy on cooking. Maybe one day, maybe as I get older, I'll start getting into more passionate things like embracing my food a bit more. But I should start eating better. Speaking of that. Does my van have a name? Nope, I have not named my name. No, I haven't named it yet. Oh, these are too tall to sit there. No, and I don't understand the name thing, and I'm sure if something came up one day that was perfect. I've called her baby girl a few times, and I don't know why I named her a girl, but I'm like, come on, baby girl. Come on. We're going up a hill. She's going really slow. I'm like, come on, baby girl. We got this. So maybe baby girl's my van's name. I don't know. It's just what I've always called it. Sorry, guys. I'm just moving some things. Did you guys see this in a video the other day? I think her name is Ashley. Ashley Pivot, I think. That drew this for us. Yeah, how beautiful is that? I am gonna get this framed in something plexiglass so it doesn't break. And I was thinking about, come on, get in there. Oh, I do have her letter in here. Hold on, let me find out exactly who this is. I don't want to touch it because it's made in pencil, so I don't want to touch it. It is from Ashley. So Ashley, if you made this, thank you. If you didn't see that video where I opened this in a video, Ashley, it made me cry. Super sweet. But yeah, anyway, I'm also thinking about going in and getting this digitally scanned so we can put this on a shirt. I just thought I would love to wear that on a shirt. And here's something funny. So Ashley, if you're watching this, I don't know if Ashley understood how important this picture is. And I don't know if she chose it because of this picture or if it was just by fluke she chose this one. So this picture is actually the very last image I have of my condo. This was filmed about 2 minutes before I walked out of my condo for the very last time and my van life journey began. So this whole entire moment holds a lot of emotional stuff for me. And it's so amazing. So if she didn't pick it, good job on following those feelings in your tummy, choosing the right picture, because that one was on point. It was a big day in my life, man. I remember lying there on the ground because Disco Bear was a little bit confused, and he was just like, what's going on? Why is our apartment empty? Where are we going? And I lied on the floor with him, and I was like, you ready to go, bud? You ready to go? And then off we went into the unknown world of van life, a world that I didn't know what was coming. I didn't know where we were going or where we were going to sleep the first night. I had no clue. But yeah, that was a bit of a pulling at the heartstrings that day when I seen that in the mail. It was pretty great. Does she take orders for drawings? She hasn't even messaged me back. So Ashley, if you are watching, please fire me off an email to hi@vancityvanlife.ca. I would love to thank you for this. Like, really thank you for it. And yeah, like, people will always ask, does she do drawings for other people? So if you're interested in making a little extra coin, I don't mind putting that out there if that's your thing. Anikar, thanks for joining YouTube memberships. I love it that it tells me right on the live stream when someone clicks that join button below. Super rad. Linda, thank you for that. So, if anybody sees the people that are in blue with a wrench beside them, those people are my moderators. And if you see people on here with a little box beside their name with my What's Up Weirdos logo, those people are in green, and those are my supporters on YouTube memberships. Some people have asked that along the way. They're like, how come these people are green and how come these people are blue with a wrench? I love this. Guys, stop giving this dude money. Oh, you're a nice guy. Hold on. Oh, this is so satisfying. People don't understand that. Like, someone says something a little bit negative, it's it. They're gone. So this, like, FMG Gaming 80 was like, dude, stop giving this guy money. So I just blocked him from the channel. You got nothing to positive to add. You got nothing to positive to add. Bye. Nice to see ya. Adios. Have you ever considered about doing a video collaboration with Bob Wells? Bob Wells is in the States, and not really. Bob has a he's kind of got a different market and demographic than me. Like, there's always that crossover because anybody's looking for information stuff, they always seem to find Bob because he's been on YouTube for like 10 or so years or whatever it's been. But yeah, we got a bit of a crossover thing, but we've got a huge different demographic. So yeah, that's never been something I've ever been interested in anyway. Don't get me wrong. If I were to ever be down there and we were to bump into each other, of course I'd, run the camera and see if he's interested in making a video. Is it Chaos Quitty? Chaos. I can't even pronounce that. Chaos Kitty. April. Chaos. Q. Whatever that is. Thank you for joining YouTube membership. Super rad. Wendy, thank you. Does anybody know where you can get the shirt that I'm wearing? Yes, vancityvanlife.ca/shop. Or just go to vancityvanlife.ca, click the word shop. All these things are all on there. They're awesome shirts, man. I'm a huge fan of this one. I even got my friends at Ray Outfitted a fat banner for the wall. They make these like tapestry, like the thin fabric little wall tapestries. And yeah, I got one for them. It was pretty cheap, like $75 or something Canadian. It wasn't bad for something that's like 9 feet wide. It was massive. Which video was a diesel heat installed? I don't have a diesel heater in my van. My van is the gasoline version of what most people would use as a diesel. So I bought the gas one. So mine's actually tapped into my gas tank, and it's not an actual full install video. Is because it's my channel. I don't do those tutorial sort of things. But yeah, if you go type in there, just type in heater, go to my YouTube channel, click the little search button, type in the word heater, and it should pop up. If you guys are looking for like a super detailed install video for a diesel heater, Ray Outfitted has a video on their YouTube channel that's like 45 minutes long, and it's an extremely detailed video on how to install a diesel heater. Pretty cool, but you won't find those like really detailed things on my channel because I'm not into that little techie sort of stuff. So for me to do a how to install stuff is not something you usually find on my channel. Grumpy old van's like, send me a banner. Dude, that banner's bigger than your van, grumpy old van. It's time. Thank you. I live vicariously through you. Super rad. Hearing comments like that really reminds me of like kind of how lucky we've got it, you know, like to be able to like by fluke start earning money on the internet and being able to be out here and just travel and make videos for you guys and just share thoughts and feelings and my emotions and places that I go with you. Yeah, this is a good topic. I know we only bring up Jackery on my channel like when I'm promoting one of their products because they pay me for those ads. But James just said, Bob hates Jackery, Chrome loves Jackery. So I should make a video on this subject. I like the little one. I have one here. You see all that dog hair? I like this little one. And it's always usually within reach of my van. I use it for outside stuff like trimming my hair, and I need to get away from the van so I can cut my hair. I should just cut it in here with the amount of Cruz's dog hair that's in here. But I love that little one. And I think for anybody starting, this little one will get you started. It ain't going to run nothing big and fancy, but it'll charge your laptop and your cell phone. What really more do you need? And maybe run a light or something. But Bob hates the Jackery, and I know that. He's bashed them before, and he's told everybody never to buy them before. And then now we put him on a video before. He's like, they're super easy. That's the ticket. They're super easy. And so if anybody's watched that Bob video, I should actually make a full video on this one and talk about Bob on this one. So this little one is the one you should buy. If you're going to go portable, buy the baby one. Because the baby one you could use with you when you need bigger power. If you need a Jackery 1000, at that point, get a real solar package, get some AGM batteries. Don't go out and drop that big fat stack of cash unless you just can't install it on your own. Because that's the hard part, is the install. It's a lot that goes into it. You got to drill holes in your roof. You got to run wires through. You got to have fuses and blocks and right gauge wires. And it's crazy. But that's why the little one is so cool, because it gets you started and that's it. You know what I mean? I think if you're going to go that big, go with the bigger ones. I think that's my suggestion, is just go do what I did. Go get a deep cycle battery, run it with a thing off your alternator. When you start it, you drive, you charge. I did that for the first year and a half of my van life. I ran Jackery for a little while. Then I got a deep cycle battery that just charged off my alternator. And we drive so much that battery stayed enough that it kept my lights on. What more do you actually need? But if you're going to spend $1,000 on a big battery and a few $100 for each solar panel you buy, that's $1,300. Yeah, go buy some AGM batteries and some solar and put it on your roof. If you need that much power, don't buy the portable. Easy as that. If you got simple needs like I did when I started, yeah, buy a portable one. If you don't want to fuss with wiring, or that stuff doesn't make sense to you, like, that's the thing with Bob when he says that. You just take this, plug your stuff in it. You're done. And Bob was like, if you didn't watch that video, he pissed me off a little bit on one point. Bob's like, oh, it's got a 3-year lifespan. Wrong. It does not have a 3-year lifespan. After that many charge cycles that you would probably get out of 3 years using them if you were to drain the battery every other day, it would last you 3 years. And then after 3 years, it goes down to 80% of the lithium's battery life. 80%, which means it might last you 10 years or more. It just won't be at 100% of its capacity, because as time goes on, as the charge cycles go on, you'll lose charging capacity and it does drop. So around the 3-year point, you might be down to 80% of the battery's life, which still works. It was so funny when I seen that. And if you look at the comments on his video, I'm not one to read the comments, but I scrolled down there just out of curiosity, and everybody was correcting him. They're like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. But yeah, those portable batteries are not for everybody. They're not. You know what I mean? And if you're going to ask, well, can I run an induction cooktop off of it? You need to buy $10,000 worth of solar and batteries for your van to run your van right. Portable batteries are not going to cut it. Right? Like my van now, I don't use the portable batteries for running my house anymore because my house needs have gone through the roof. Like I've got so much power requirements. I shouldn't say through the roof, but I'm running a fridge and I've got all my lighting and stuff like that in here. I've got my new sound system, my fan, and just all these other things. And sometimes I charge my laptop up to 3 times a day in order to edit, which is my hugest drain. My biggest drain in my van is my silly little laptop. It may be insane. You're like, how's your laptop draw that much power? Easy. It draws that much power because I think the plug itself is 85 watts. But like right now, I just turned on my inverter in order to charge this. So if this stays running for, just say I live stream for 3 hours and this stays running for 3 hours, that's a constant 85 watt drain, plus my fridge, plus whatever else is on. So if it gets warm in here, I turn my fan on, now you got that draw. So the higher your power needs are, the more you're going to need to buy AGM batteries and put solar on your roof. But if you're just starting, this is perfect. But yeah, Bob hates those things. He bashes them all the time. And, you know, and I don't like it when I watch somebody bash something. So I've never bashed stuff like that. I've talked about my experiences, but there's a place in the market for everything. There's a place for those portable batteries. There's a place for the Battleborn batteries, and there's a place for the big Victron energy stuff. There's a place in the market for everything. It's just what works for you in your financial bracket at that point in time. When I started, that little 240 was exactly what I needed in my van life at that time, and it got me going, and that's all that mattered. And then once my power needs increased at that time, I was also out of debt at the time. I had a little extra cash. I could afford to buy one battery and my charging thing to charge it off my alternator. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of what fits in the right budgets at the right time. Like, I don't want to see you guys go out and spend, you know, $1,200-$1,300 on a portable battery setup, because I think that's going to be a mistake unless you plan on keeping it simple forever. Because I think what happens with everybody else in their van life, same thing that happens with me, is as you get into the van and the longer you are in the van, the more things you add to your van, which slowly obsoletes that portable battery. As soon as you go above what that battery is capable of, that battery is now useless. That's why I said if you get the smaller one, you can use it forever, because like me, my van's powered. I have all the power I need in here by AGM batteries. My little bugger is the one I use outside for everything. And I couldn't live without that little battery. Like every time I'm at the campfire or at a picnic table, like I do it all the time. And even if I'm live streaming outside, I always bring that little it's getting hot in here. Bring that little battery with me. Yeah, Mary said it perfect right there. If you're a camper, not a van lifer, the Jackeries are perfect. You got that right, man. Grab it in your garage and off you go. They're amazing. Or they're good to start your van life off with. Oh, what's up, Jasper? Jasper's like, hi, Daddy. So many people have asked in the past, they're like, is Jasper your son? Or they've asked Jasper, is Chrome your dad? Easy now. One, I'm not that old. And Jasper doesn't look that young, so that makes me the old bugger. Thanks for that. Leanne, this is a very good question. Am I going to do a full review on my fridge? The answer to that is no. The only reason why is I got that fridge from a company called CanadianOffGridDepot.com. And as soon as I got the fridge, the unique brand that manufactures that fridge in Canada pulled the whole line. It's gone. You can't buy them anymore. They're out. And I'm stoked that I got the last one, but yeah, the company doesn't make them anymore. They and from what I understand, what it was The owner of Unique is so old in his ways that he's the one that pulls out newspaper articles to sell things. He hasn't gotten hip with the times to know that you got to advertise on the internet. And he's like, no. So I originally reached out to Unique and said, hey, I want to work with you guys. I want to buy a fridge. I heard lots of great things about it. Are you interested? No reply. So I tried again a few months later. No reply. And then when I finally talked with somebody from around the company, they said, oh yeah, if you use the word YouTube in your email, the owner was like, I don't understand what that is. No. So they just lost out on this amazing fridge that they could have been running. They probably would have been successful with it, but yeah, they failed on that one. So long story short, no review of my fridge. Do I love that fridge? Heck yes. Does it matter if I tell you that I love it? Heck no, because you can't buy them anymore, which kind of sucks. Earl asked, what about a Kodiak? I think those are like a battery thing. I don't know. I can't give you advice on something that I've never touched myself. And I can't give you hearsay information because hearsay information is not real. You know, and you get a lot of hearsay information in the comments on videos of people like, whoa, this is this. Well, because they watched a video and somebody said that, now it's a fact. No, it's not. So I can't give you hearsay information. But comments are really bad for that. Comment sections are really, really bad for just like throwing out just random stuff that they don't have personal experience with. Grumpy Old Van says that Costco has the unique online. So Costco Canada, not the US, Costco Canada has the unique online for sale. But I don't think that they have them anymore because the factory is done. They have zero at the factory. Zero. So not unless Costco's got stock, the factory is out. Done. Sucks. Justin, Christina, how you guys doing? Nice to have you on the stream. Do I get to the USA any? No, I haven't been down to the US since probably 2012. I think that was the last time I went down there. I haven't been down there in a while. This is the first time anybody's ever brought up my earrings in a live stream, and this time it's come up twice. Do I ever switch them out? No. These are like, you can't get them out. You have to like go back to a place and pry them open to get them out. They're in there pretty good. No, I never bought a rice cooker yet. I still am unsure about it. Not sure if I would use it enough to be able to make the space for it, because that's a fair amount of space in my van. It's not like I've got like all this extra room. I've been in my van now for 3 years. So to add something like that means that I would have to remove something out of my van in order to make the space for it. And I'm not sure if I'm really willing to do that yet. I mean, if I were to use it all the time, then yeah, but I'm still kind of on the fence. What cameras do I use for vlogging? Brett, this is a great question. iPhone 11 Pro. Seriously, every video you've ever... Let me explain this one first. I got a Canon 80D. I made 2 videos with the Canon 80D. I hated the 80D. It's not the camera that I didn't like. It's not like they were holding the large camera. I love that aspect of it. I love being able to change the lens on it. I hated the picture and the work involved that you have to do with that footage in order to make it usable on YouTube, which means a lot more work for me in my everyday edit, because I would have to color grade everything, because those cameras don't capture a perfectly composed shot like the iPhone does. Like everything's in focus, everything is good, it watches the composure, so it's not like washed out. Where with the other one, if your composure is a little bit off, or you've had to film in a flat picture, you have to then bring it into your edit, then color grade your entire footage, then edit it, which is another massive process for someone like me who uploads every single day. It was a pain in the ass. So I have sold the Canon camera. It's gone. I film everything on my iPhone 11 Pro. I started my YouTube channel on my iPhone 7 Plus. Then I upgraded to the iPhone 10, which is now my cell phone. And then The iPhone 11 Pro Max is what I'm doing all of my filming at, all my channel, no external microphone, no nothing, straight out of the camera, just like this. My tripod, wherever it is, in my tripod. This is literally my everyday camera rig right here. Right? Super simple. All the links for these things are on my Amazon links. You can find those at vanlife.ca if you're wondering. But yeah, right here, iPhone, 100%. And with the way iPhones capture things, it's insane because like it's a perfect shot right out of your camera. You may not be able to get that like nice depth of field, you know what I mean? You know, when something's really focused, everything else in behind is like kind of blurred out. You don't get that really nice, like super cinematic effect, but it's in focus every time. And that's all that matters. You put your camera on, turn it on, it's in focus. So yeah, I'm a big fan of just keeping with my iPhone. For another reason too, is that when I'm filming in a business, this is less invasive. When you're in a business with the cell phone, people don't really question what you're doing with your phone in front of your face. If you're walking around with a fat, huge camera with a big lens on the front, it becomes a, excuse me, sir, right? When am I going to get a YouTube Silver Creator Award for 100K? I am not sure. We've rolled over to 100K and I'm not sure. I don't know anything about that stuff. I am pretty darn sure that at some point YouTube will send me an email or something or whatever. I don't know. Not really sure. Is Chrome my real name? Yes, it is. Yeah, see, a lot of people get shocked at that. Yeah, not even a mic. Nothing. There are some days where I have to adjust the EQ. This is weird. My microphone on the iPhone 10 was better than the microphone on the iPhone 11. I found this one to be a little bit sharper than this one. And most people would not notice, but I noticed that sometimes this one, like the newer phone, is a bit more on the muffled side. Like it loses like the crispiness of it. You know what I mean? It kind of like flattens it out a bit. So I do sometimes in this one have to EQ my microphone in the edit where I just kind of drag the treble and mid-range up a little bit just to kind of give it a bit more range. But other than that, man, I'm 100% big fan on the iPhone. Grumpy Old Van predicts 200,000 subscribers by next spring. Blair, you just asked a question that I just answered. Do I ever use my DSLR? I sold it. The answer is no. I was not a big fan of the image that came out of it. The Canon 80D was not the camera that I wanted, but it came up at a super good price with all the fix-ins. So I'm like, okay, let's just try it. So it was an old camera too. You got to remember that's a 4-year-old camera when I got it. It's a 5-year-old camera now. So like it's not new with the new technology. That was a pretty old camera, but it worked. VB plays, what do I use for a heater? I have a Webasto gasoline dry air parking heater or whatever you want to call it. It's a AirTop 2000, the gasoline version. So it's tapped into my van's gas tank. It's not a diesel one, which is pretty awesome. Do I recommend any van builders around Metro Vancouver? The only van builder I know that does great work is on Vancouver Island. He's on Instagram as J5 Custom Vans. Just the letter J5 Custom Vans on Instagram. He built this cabinet that's on this side and has also done a few other things for me and my van, including my ladder and stuff like that that's on the side. But J5 Custom Vans, I'd recommend him any day if you're shopping local. If you need links to that one, they're also on vancityvanlife.ca. Just go to my van page. It's down at the bottom. All that stuff's on there. So one thing great about having the website now is like all those questions are all there. All the companies that I've worked with, all the companies I recommend to work with, that I've had experience with, all the links. Jimmy's got a fake GoPro. It's awesome. Some of those little knockoff cameras, man, they've done a great job on some of those little action ones. I used to have one when I was mountain biking, this little like piece of crap $80 little thing. It was great. The image stabilization wasn't so good, but it worked. How much money do I say I would put into my van? I don't know. I should actually do a recheck of it. So I'm going to say, just throwing out a number, I've probably, including purchasing the van, probably about 18 grand at this point. Yeah, probably around there. I don't remember. I'll have, because I did a video before tallying up everything, including the walls and everything, but I might be 18 to 20 grand into my van right now. Something like that. But I mean, that's also happened over 3 and some years, right? That's including the purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, just so you know, my numbers, like, so John Smith corrected, $18,000 Canadian is 13,000 US. Remember, I'm in Canada, so you guys are like 30% cheaper over there. Our dollar is not so great. So yeah, about 18K, because I bought the van for 6,500, and then, but there's been like, and I'm including things like my speakers and stuff that most people just don't do. A fully professional van build, and you know what I mean? Rims and tires, and like just things that most people don't add to their van. Like my van is kitted right out. So I'm going to say, just round her up there. Let's say 20 grand into my van. But I should itemize that list again. It's probably a really good idea. Make for a really good video. Because I know at some point I'm going to have to redo my van tour video. So if I redo the van tour of my van with all the new stuff on there, maybe I'll try to find a running total in that video. It's a great idea. Yep, cheaper. It's definitely cheaper than $1,000 a month for rent, though. You got that right. So you got to realize, even if this whole van cost me $20,000, including purchasing it and all the upgrades in 3 years, let's figure that out. That's like 20 months of, well, let's figure that out. So let's go. What my rent was $1,300. So we'll go 20 grand for the van, divided by $1,300 that I was paying for rent. So in 15 months of paying rent, and I would have owned nothing. So now 15 months of paying rent, and I own the van. So let's go 1,300 times 12 times 3. That's $46,000 in rent that I would have paid. 46 grand. And it's been over 3 years now, so it's more than that. But so we'll just say like just about 50 grand I would have spent in rent over these last chunks of time. So having the van for 20K and now owning it, now if this van lasts me another stack of years, it's great. Woo! Another Econoline just drove by. Nice big roof rack and stickers on the back door. Days with Jordan, thank you so much for that. I love that. Appreciate the support, man. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Thank you for that. How did I learn to edit? I self-taught myself, and that's the best way to learn anything in life is just teach yourself, man. Teach yourself. Jasper, I will be coming to the island. I've got a few things I need to do here first. I've got maybe next week, not this coming week coming up, but the week after. I'll let you know when I'm coming though, but I will be coming. I got a bunch more things I have to do here before we get the chance to leave the city, but I want to get out of the city right now anyway. It's time to get out. I'm kind of somewhat done with the city already. But yeah, I learned how to edit on my own, and being a career nightclub DJ, that was all self-taught. Like I taught myself how to talk in the microphone. I taught myself how to mix. I taught myself how to pick music and how to play the right track at the right time to create the right energy in the bar. And like, that's all self-taught. And anybody that's ever done anything great in their life, it's always been self-taught. If you ask any musician, they were self-taught. Anybody who's done something great with themselves, they've learned on their own. Yeah. A lot of people are like, well, I want to do this, but I don't know how. Well, just get the software and learn. That's the easiest way to do it. You will figure it out. I use Adobe Premiere right now. I've been using Adobe Premiere since I started. I'm not really locked to the software. It's just the one that I really learned on. And because I learned on the software, for me to change, I'm not really sure if it's even worth it to change. If I ever get another laptop, I might try out Final Cut Pro that's Apple software. But yeah, I'm using Adobe right now. No complaints. Really like the software. It gets a little glitchy once in a while, and it gets frustrating on that. But yeah, I've liked it so far. And the reason why I chose it is because it's like the industry standard one. You know what I mean? Like that's just the one that like all like most video editing companies, that's what they're using. So that's why I wanted to learn it, because I didn't know if this YouTube thing was going to be a month long and I'd just get bored of it and never upload another video. But I figured if I was going to learn, let's just learn on what's standard. How much fuel cost is it from Ontario to BC? That's very easy to figure out. Go to the app online, shouldn't say app. Go to gasbuddy.com. Type in your vehicle, type in your location, type in your end destination. It'll plan out all your gas fuel ups on that route and tell you exactly what it's going to cost you according to the manufacturer's specs on your fuel economy on your vehicle. It's pretty damn good. Like I did that, and I can't remember what it cost. I didn't track my fuel on the way back. I did track it on the way out just for video's sake, and I made a video on that. I don't remember how much it was. Maybe somebody here does. But yeah, gasbuddy.com is pretty awesome for giving you a rough idea on what it's going to cost to do a trip. I don't understand doctor and dentist. What about them? Yeah, rent $1,700 in Abbotsford. Think about that. Time to get a van. That's insane. Don't get me wrong, like the condo that I moved out of, I was living in Surrey, BC, which is just outside of the city in Vancouver. I was living in Surrey, BC before I moved into my van. My condo was $1,300 a month. The second I moved out of it, it went to $1,750. So yeah. And that's all you're doing is paying off the landlord's mortgage. That's exactly correct. It just feels so much better being in the van and putting money into you. You know what I mean? It feels good to put your rent money into van build upgrades, or put a part of that money you would be spending on rent into gas and going out and having more fun, right? Like I wouldn't care right now if I was putting $1,300 a month in fuel. I'm not, especially now that I'm back here. I'm not spending that much in fuel. But even if you did, you would have one heck of a fun month, traveling around, exploring, having fun, enjoying your time, enjoying your life, and learning things and seeing things. There you go. Someone pays $2,000 a month for rent in Port Coquitlam, which is just outside of the city in Vancouver. Probably about 20 minutes, a half an hour. That's a lot. How many miles does your van have on it? 275,000 kilometers, which we just figured out earlier on in the live stream, which is 170,000 miles. I think that's what it was. Evangeline, the answer to your question, am I considering raising the roof of my van? I will never raise the roof in my van. I have no interest in a high top on this van. Zero. I like my low roof van. I can sit up nice and straight. It does me everything that I need. It fits on those little short, narrow trails in the backcountry. I love it. So yeah, never. Not on this van. Will my next van be new or used? All depends. I don't know what the situation is going to be when I'm going to need to buy another van, but who knows what my situation will be at that point in time. Buying new is always kind of cool, but then you also bite the depreciation from the second you buy it. So buying used is always kind of a good idea. So they take the first initial hit. But yeah, I'm not even thinking about another van right now. I love the one that I'm in. Yeah, I like my van just as it is. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have put any of these upgrades into my van over the last 6 months if I wasn't for sure that I loved my van. So, and, you know, and honestly, adding these upgrades to my van has completely changed like my feeling for. I love this thing. Like every time I come out of a store or something, I see my van, and I'm like, whose van is that? I'm like, oh, that's my home. Like doing these upgrades really gave me a newfound excitement for living in this thing. I think what happens is you just get bored with what you have, and you just like your mind wants to upgrade, or you know what I mean? So like instead of buying another van, it's easier just to put money into the one you currently already own because you own it. Papa was a Rolling Stone, put nitrous on my van. Funny. Could you imagine this thing? No. Show us your dog, please. Kind of can't. I'm going to turn my laptop around. He's in the front seat. You guys are on my laptop, so I can't exactly zoom in. There's his head right there, sleeping in the front seat. Hey, Grizzy. James, thanks for that. Yeah, I seen that Tom Green has set out in his van. Kind of funny. It's pretty cool, man. I don't watch a lot of van life content, but as soon as I heard he had a channel, I popped over there and checked it out. Chrome, when did I buy my black stove? I bought that 1 year ago, last September. When Andy did those van cabinets, when I met him, not this September, last September, that's when I bought my new stove. I bought it just because I didn't want the blue one in here anymore. And when we unscrewed the other one from the cabinet, it was worse than I thought it was. It worked. There's nothing wrong with it. It worked. But as soon as I unbolted it, everything started to kind of get loose on it. Like the screws that held it to my countertop was what was holding that other one together. So it just felt good. There was cheap. I think I only paid like $120 or $100 for this stove. I bought it at Mountain Equipment Co-op in Ontario. Any advice for a van life beginner? Absolutely. Don't overthink things. Just buy your van. Period. Don't build it. Don't do nothing with it. Buy your van. Sleep on the floor until you figure out your space. Because if you spend all your time building your van at the beginning before you've had the chance to live in it, and I'm not talking like a weekend, go out there and rough it in your van for like 3 months or something. So you actually know the space before you start putting things in there. So, and I've said this a lot, and even Jeffy Bear, the guy you've seen in my videos recently, he's gone through some changes where he's built a cabinet. It didn't work. He had to break the cabinet down because it was just in his mind that that's just what he thought would work. But then after he got in it, realized that doesn't work at all. So like, that's the best advice, is just honestly spend the money you have right now and buy the best van that you can and sleep on the floor. You will figure it out after that. But don't waste your money on all these things, all these channels that are telling you you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. You don't need that. You just need to buy a good quality van and sleep on the damn floor. That's it. And buy your necessities like you're going to go camping. Buy your little portable camp stove, a little cooler, a little simple little things like you're camping, and just camp out in your van until you figure it out. Van life is not as complicated as everybody makes it out to be. And if you're seeing a van like mine, that like, oh, Chrome, you live in a nice big fancy van. Hasn't always been fancy. I lived in an empty can for about a year. I roughed it at the beginning because I was broke at the beginning. But I'm just as happy in this fully beautiful converted van, which just it feels good. But I'm just as happy today. My van life adventures are the same today as they were then. It just happens to be I'm in a bit of a lap of luxury right now. But the lifestyle never changed from being bare empty to beautiful. The same. I was just as excited to wake up every morning, just as excited to open up my doors and show people, yo, I live in a van. You know? So don't get caught up in the big fancy stuff. Sure, if you can afford the big fancy stuff, give her. Give her. But one thing I have learned, though, is that because I started in the struggle, you know, I started with the cheapest heater you could find, which was the Buddy. I started off with the cheapest cooler, and well, I didn't. I bought a cheap cooler off of Craigslist. Wasn't like a cheap $10 one, but I bought a used one off of Craigslist. But I started simple. Like my whole initial van build probably cost me nothing, because any money I had that I sold all the belongings in my condo with, I used that money to furnish my van. I used the money from selling things to buy my mattress, or money from selling things out of my condo to buy the wood for my bed, or selling more stuff and buying the cooler off of Craigslist. You know what I mean? So really, ideally, I'd never initially put in like money outside of things that I was selling to start. And with the money that I was selling things with, I also paid off debt. But really, ideally, my first van build cost me nothing, technically, you know? Yeah, keep it simple, man. Keep it simple. Your van build will be better in the long run if you start off simple. Right? But because I learned with the struggle at the beginning, I appreciate the bigger things more. So because I lived in my van for 2 years with just simple things, like I bought some furniture cabinets at a furniture store and I L-bracketed them to my floor. Before that, I had plastic cabinets for a year. But because I've been through all those struggles, when you start to get the bigger, higher ticket quality items, you appreciate it more. Like going from the buddy heater to the Wave 3 felt like a milestone in my heating. Now to go from the Wave 3 to using a dry air heater that taps into my gas tank with no need for additional fuel in my van anywhere besides my van's gas, it's like the same milestone, but then you appreciate things more, because this heat now feels 100 times better than the Wave 3, and the Wave 3 felt 100 times better than the Mr. Buddy heater. But you appreciate what you have more if you've started out simple. And I don't care if you're rich. I don't care if you're sitting on a pile of money or you make your first van bed out of stacks of $100 bills. I don't care your financial position when you start. Live on a mattress on your floor with the basics. Trust me, I don't give a crap if you just bought a $95,000 fully kitted out Sprinter. Sleep on the floor. You will learn that van way better. That's my advice for anybody. Any rich person watching my channel is like, oh, me? Sleep on the floor? Yeah, that van will be way better. Where am I traveling next summer? I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going tomorrow. That's way too far ahead for me to even think about next summer. How is the Webasto heater on fuel consumption? I don't really notice. I haven't really noticed that I fuel up more. It hasn't been like that, you know, run it all night, start the van going, where'd all my gas go? Because I keep my van gas tank topped up all the time. Like sometimes I'll be at a quarter of a tank. I'll pull into a gas station and toss 20 bucks in or whatever. I'm always been like that. So I have not noticed it anyway. Sorry, guys. I'm missing all sorts of stuff in here. Wow, things are flying by. I'm missing super chats. Chrome, get on it. Jasper, thank you. All right, guys, so let me find these. I can't let these go without saying thank you. Vancity Adventure, thanks for the love. Bold Aerial Vision. I got an email that I could be trying. Sorry, let me read this, guys. Give me a sec. Bold Aerial Vision. I don't snowboard either, so I can't give you any lessons. They'd be the world's worst snowboarding lessons. Parent Student Advocate, how you doing? Thanks for the love. It was great to meet you out there, by the way. Best mattress, the one you can afford. I have a very cheap mattress. Someone's driving by on the bike. You hear the bell? The mattress I have on my bed is literally a $65 camping mattress from a box store called Canadian Tire. It's literally meant to go on the bottom of your tent, super cheap, was in a roll. I unrolled it, and it slowly started to kind of like the air got into it. It came up, and that's the main mattress that's on my bed. And then I also bought a 4-inch piece of memory foam from Costco for my bed, which was like $150. I just thought maybe just for the luxury aspect of it. But to be honest, having the memory foam, we're talking about that blue stuff, that's super cushy. It sucks when the weather is cold. That memory foam gets rock hard. So right now my mattress is flipped upside down. So the blue memory foam is on the bottom and the regular foam is on the top, because otherwise you sit on the memory foam, it's like boom, it's like sitting on a board. And then until it heats up, it lets you sink into it. It's a pain. So if I were to ever do another van, I would never do memory foam on top. Never. It was a bad idea. I would rather just do a little bit thicker on that cheaper foam. Like right now, if I had the choice right now, and I needed to get rid of the memory foam, I would just go buy another cheap $65 4-inch piece of foam. It was nothing fancy. I didn't go to a fancy foam store that makes foam mattresses. It's just a piece of foam. I've never been one to be over picky with my sleeping surfaces either. And it's never really been a bother. I've never gotten up with problems or achiness because of my bed. Grumpy old van. Build cheap. I did a 97 Ford E150 van. Yeah, I also did a van tour with Grumpy Old Van. That'll be coming up in the next year. I have a bunch of van tours. I'm going to start releasing them probably 2 a month or something like that. But I did film the Grumpy Old Van. Sean, what do I think about living out of a large SUV? People live out of a Prius, man. Do your thing. Whatever you got, whatever feels good. But my suggestion is, if I was you, don't buy the SUV to live in it. I think you're probably better in that aspect to go out and rent one. See if you can live in a space that big. If you own it, go rock it. Go figure it out. It's all good. But don't go out there and buy something if you don't know if that space is good enough. Because I've heard of many people that have done that. Like, well, I just bought a tiny little ProMaster City, and I thought, and then they get it. They're like, hell no. Like, those are points where you're better to go rent that vehicle and figure it out before you make the mistake on purchasing it. Or find a friend who's got something similar in size and go borrow it. You only need it for a couple of nights to know, yeah, this ain't going to happen. I guys lost my chat there. Hey, Chrome, when you come back next week, I would like to shoot for a van. Let me know what day works. I have no idea, man. I have no idea where I'm going to be tomorrow. Planning things for me is not an option, Mr. Van City Adventure. I don't know. Actually, that question's on my list that I should make, because a lot of people are like, hey, Chrome, how come you don't know where you're going to be tomorrow? Because I don't like to make plans. Making plans really sucks. It's one thing about this lifestyle. If I make plans, then I have to wait. So, because if I make plans, just say Fancy Adventure, just say I make plans with you next Friday. What if Thursday I feel like going to Vancouver Island? I'm just going to go. And then you're going to sit there all by yourself going, Chrome, how come you didn't show up, Chrome? Chrome, I'm like, because I woke up in the morning and decided to go to Vancouver Island. So, yeah, I don't make plans. We'll figure things out. Joy of Love said it best. Spontaneity is the best. Are you a heavy sleeper? Oh, I'm a rock solid sleeper, man. Like, out. I don't hear nothing. Like, nothing. Like, I've slept on the side of the highway, on a busy highway, at a little pullout on this trip. I pulled in. It was like, I think we were in Saskatchewan or something, and it was nothing but flat lands and prairies. I pulled over, opened the door, made myself some dinner, enjoyed a night watching movies, went to bed. I woke up. There was about 15 semi-trucks parked all around me, like literally wedged in everywhere. I'm like, how the heck did I not hear a single one drive in? And the ones that are around me, most of them were still running, because, you know, the guys that just let the diesel run. Yeah, here I am passed out. I didn't hear a single one of them come in. So I'm a heavy sleeper. But that might be because I'm a city boy, because I've always been around noise at night. So it's never quiet in the city. There's always sirens in the middle of the night or some kind of noise going on outside. So I think, you know, I don't know. That's just my guess on why I'm such a heavy sleeper. Ever think of driving as far north in Canada as you can? Yes, that was my plan this year until COVID hit. My plan was to do the Yukon and Northwest Territories this year. That didn't happen because of COVID. So we just decided to go get some work done on the van instead. But yeah, I would like to do that. Maybe next year. I'm not sure. We'll see how things go. Love the Chucks. How many pairs do I own? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 pairs of Chuck Taylors in my van, which is a far cry from like the 30 or 50 I used to have in my condo. I love having, it's my thing. I love having a variety of Converse. Do I ever get trick-or-treaters in the van? Come on, that's creepy. No. I should hook up with Foresty Forest. I messaged him on his live stream today and told him that if he comes to Vancouver, because he said he was going to come to Vancouver Island to stop by, we'll have a beer. Pamela, thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Do I have a water purifier? No. I usually fill up. I have two 27-liter water jugs. Hold on, let me move my laptop. 2 27-liter, little blue ones way down there. So which gives me like 50 liters of water inside the van. And I usually top those up at a water purification place anyway. Like if I'm in the city somewhere and there's a tap, I may use it. But a lot of times if I'm out and about, I'll just like, you know, I'll drive by a water purification store. I'll just stop by and top up my jugs. It's like, they'll just like $3 or whatever it is, or $4 to fill up your 27 liters. It's no big deal. And the water always tastes decent anyway, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, I don't have an actual purifier in my van. I know lots of vans that have those big Berkey filters. Sure, if I lived in like a high top, big, huge van, I definitely do the Berkey, but yeah, it's too big for my van. Why did I choose my E250 Ford van over the 150 or a Chevy? It was available. And I wasn't searching for a Ford van. That wasn't my thing. I was actually looking for a Chevy Express because I like the body style of the Chevy Express. But any vans I looked at, they just didn't feel right. So I came across this one, took it for a test drive, and I was like, yeah, this is the van. This is the one that I want. And passed all the vehicle inspections and stuff like that. I took it to a mechanical inspection and everything else, and a safety inspection, all the things, just so I knew I was like buying a good van. And yeah, passed everything. So I bought it. And I've had zero mechanical problems with it. But I didn't choose it because I'm like, oh, a Ford E250, that's the thing to get. I still couldn't even say that. Like, oh yeah, buy an E250. You know, buy whatever feels right to you. Some people like Dodge, some people like Chevy, some like Ford. It's like whatever. My van just worked. I like it. Did I get my Halloween candy? No, I'm going to wait until they go on sale tonight. It's 50% off when it gets later. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be lots of candy. I don't think people stocked up on candy for home stuff this year as they've done in the past. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be lots of 50% off candy tonight and tomorrow. Kim Jones, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Love the super chats. Jenny O'Brien, thank you. Thank you. I love reading you guys' stuff. Super rad. I love it when people, sorry, Pamela, I was just reading your super chat again. I love reading that people don't know how they found my channel. It just kind of popped up in their stream. One of my very first people that started to support us at the beginning when my channel really, really needed the help, the lady found me for no reason. She just was like, I was online one day and for some reason this thing popped up and I'm like, what's van life? She clicked on it and she was with us for the longest time. It was super cool that for some reason it just popped up in her feed. YouTube just thought it might be appealing to her, so they shared it in front of her, and she became a pretty big fan. Grumpy old Van, Chrome and Cruz Halloween costume fund. Thanks for the super chat, bro. I am wearing my costume. I'm a YouTuber. Beer's getting warm. I haven't been drinking it. So when I was in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, I stopped and added a few local beers to my cooler from a few breweries. One was called Rebellion Brewing, and the other one is called, I don't know, District or something like that. They were bad. Like, it's not very often I've bought a 4-pack of craft beer, and I was like, ew. No, both of them were the same way. They were just not good beers. And it's, for the most part, if I can grab an IPA, they're usually pretty good. But for some reason, those Saskatchewan ones from those two breweries, man, I'm not really a big fan. How did Disco, my other bulldog, get his name? Music. If I was going to get a dog, he was going to have a music name. And I was thought about calling him techno or rave or something like that. Or jazz or something. And I don't know. I got him, and I started being like a little dork when he was a kid. And I was like a puppy, and I was like, Disco. That's the one, Disco. So yeah, I miss Disco too. He was a good pup. And it's funny when I actually go back and watch some of the old videos, you can see how old he was. Like, he was losing his eyesight. His face was super gray. Do I have a backup camera? Yes. On my van? Backup camera for filming or backup because I have a other phone. So I can, yes. If you're talking about on my van, no. I've thought about it, though. I've definitely thought about it. You find the beer by the river beer? The one, yeah, Joseph, it's from a brewery. It's from Backwoods Brewing in, why am I drawing a blank? Yeah, that beer's from Backwoods Brewing in Squamish, BC. So yeah, I have, if anybody wants some IPA beers, there's 6 cans back there because I opened 2 of them and I didn't like them from the 2 different ones. So if you want 6 cans of IPA, come visit my van. You can have them. Yeah, the ones from Saskatchewan, I just was not a fan. Did I catch my mouse? No, I think the mouse left my van. I think he popped in, had a little bit of a visit, and then was like, see you later, man. Yeah, he didn't stick around. Tari, thank you for that. Really appreciate the love. I love the super chats. You guys have been really great today. Love it. How did I find Cruz? So funny story. When my other bulldog passed away, because I've always kept in good touch with the breeders that I buy my dog from. So when Disco passed away, I messaged the breeder and I'm like, hey, Tammy, just so you know, Disco passed away a few weeks ago. And she was like, oh my gosh, so sorry, blah, blah, blah. What happened? And I told her what happened. And she was like, oh, that just breaks my heart. That's pretty rare. I'm like, yeah, I heard. And so she was like, so I don't want to say this right now, Chrome. She's like, I'm at my friend's house in Thunder Bay, Ontario. She's like, I'm actually buying another dog from her litter for my future breeding litter. And she's like, it comes from champion parents, like just good bloodlines, blah, blah, blah. She's like, she has a boy available. I'm like, I am not interested. She's like, I'm going to leave her your email anyway. And that's how it kind of began, was I found out about Cruz right after Disco passed away through the breeder that I bought Disco from. They're friends together. So yeah, that's how I found out about Cruz. I had no plans on buying another dog. Zero. As soon as Disco passed away, I was like, nope, no more dogs. And then this one came up and the breeder started to send me pictures and I was like, oh, he's so cute. So now it's how it happened. We made a rash decision and drove all the way out there and picked him up. Pretty great. Papa was Rolling Stone. Thanks for that. Have a good Halloween. Earl, do I practice being stealth in the city? No, stealth van life is not a thing. Okay, let's talk about stealth van life. What is stealth van life? Stealth van life, most people would think would be hiding. Like, you don't want anybody to know you live in your van. You want to hide out on your city streets. I park in the exact same places I did when my van looked stealthy, when I had no roof vent, no nothing, just a regular van. I park this van in those exact same spots. Zero problems. No different. No knocks. No, sir, you got to move. No, nothing. I parked in front of apartment buildings the other night. No problems. Park in front of businesses. No problems. And you got to realize that most people don't understand. They don't know. Like, here's a funny story from yesterday. I'm sitting in my van. This window is open. And I'm in a parking lot in the back side of a business. It was super nice. The fall little leaves were falling on the van. And this couple pull in this super nice Mercedes. And they pull in and they kind of back in right beside my van. She gets out of the passenger side, cops a freaking squat. And we're talking like leather seats. These guys are like, it was a nice car. She pops a squat, her Louis Vuitton, and I look over, I'm like, are you freaking, her Louis Vuitton bag is sitting on her seat and I can see it. She popped a squat beside my van, and my van had this window open, the front curtains were open, but people are so this way in their life that they don't have the time to look and go, oh, somebody's living in there, because otherwise they wouldn't have sat here. She sat there and literally peed a puddle on the parking lot ground. Like this clearly wealthy couple. I was like, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And then when I left, you could see like the puddle and the water, her piss ran underneath the van out the other side. But that's how much people, they don't notice. They're too busy doing their own life things to give a crap about your van that is there for an 8-hour night's sleep. And that's it. You got to remember, you're there once, you're gone. You won't be back for a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Like, you're not in that same spot every night that people notice you. You're kind of in, you're kind of out, and you move on to another spot. Like, there's a million places to sleep in the city. But that whole stealth thing is not as important as you think. Stealth is right here. Here is where the problem is. It's got nothing to do with the people around you. It's in here. And in here is where the problems start too. So if you're parking in stupid places, then you parked in a stupid place. That's because of you not making the right decision on where to park. You got to realize when you pull up there, you like, trust that feeling. If you're like, I'm not sure about this place, then move. Because if you're not sure about it, then chances are it's probably a bad idea. So, and anybody I know, every time someone's like, oh, we had a knock the other week, I'm like, okay, I have a question about your knock. And they're like, what? I'm like, after you left, did you look back and go, yeah, I probably shouldn't have parked there? And they're like, and every time someone's like, oh yeah, every time. I as soon as that happened, I'm like, why didn't I think of this? You know, people like pull up to a public park and they'll realize, why did they get a knock that night? Because they're at a public park, you know, or they're at a place where just down the way, they didn't see the sign that says like no parking between this time and this time. It's just because they weren't smart enough to read the signs. But to be honest, like, I can only give you parking advice from where I'm here, like in Canada. I only have experience living in a van in Canada. And everywhere I've been has been the same story, whether I'm right downtown in a fancy neighborhood with $1 million condos above me with an ocean view, and I pull my van up. Like, I've pulled my van up in front of apartment buildings where the concierge to the building is right there. Like, I can see him from the driver's seat of my van when I pull up. I pull up, crawl in the back of my van, go to bed. And they have a concierge. If you don't know what my building used to have a concierge, which is the dude at the front desk all the time that can, he's just like the king of the building. You know what I mean? Everything goes to the concierge. But there's never, ever, ever been a problem. Not once. So if you are getting into van life and you're thinking you gotta hide out, no, you don't. You just gotta like, don't get me wrong, I'm not in the city with this window wide open and my lights on so they can see that I'm in the back. if I'm in the city, I always make sure that this is covered and my curtains are drawn. Then I turn my lights on and do my own thing, watch movies, edit videos, or whatever. Like, that's what you do when you're in a van. You pull over somewhere, you go to bed, period. I don't live in my van, get in and out of my van, go for a walk with the dog, come back to my van, get into my van while it's parked in front of an apartment building. I pull up in front of that apartment building when it's bedtime. That's it. And that's the key, though. A lot of people, like, they end up like, oh, we've been hanging out here all day. Well, no wonder you got a freaking knock. Your van's been there all day. But yeah, I mean, and you'll hear this from any longtime van dweller. Stealth is not important. You know, sure, there may be times when stealth might come in handy. Like, there's been a few times where stealth has been in handy because I've parked in a place where I knew I shouldn't have. No big deal. It's like literally one day out of every 2 years where you like park somewhere where you know you probably shouldn't have. Sorry, it was a long spiel about stealth. I haven't been reading anybody's comments. Sorry, guys. Ryan, thank you for that. Ryan and Julie in Campbell River. I appreciate the love, you guys. Oh, I'm missing everybody's stuff, man. Sorry. So what happens when I start talking? I start talking and I've... Okay. David Ray, thank you. In the state of Wisconsin, there are rest areas, parks, rest area and park and rides. Yeah, so I don't know anything about camping, about doing it in the States. I do know tons of vanners or tons of Canadians that go down to the States and have zero problems down there as well, too. You know, like there are towns where, so let's use this as an example. There was a town here in just outside of Vancouver called Squamish, BC. And they have a lot of van life up there because of the outdoor culture in that community. So there's a lot of mountain bikers, a lot of rock climbing, a lot of windsurfing and stuff like that in that town. So it does draw a lot of the van life community because the guys were the rock climbers. They're all out there in their vans doing their thing, but they bring a ton of money to that community. That community wouldn't survive without the massive outdoor adventure and rock climbing people that they have out there. The town wouldn't be the same. So they've tried to ban it tons of times up there. And the last time they tried to ban it, but someone ended up bringing up that you cannot stop somebody from making a home. So like they've been trying to ban van life and you can't stop somebody from sleeping in a vehicle. You can stop them from squatting. You can stop them from breaking parking bylaws or being too big of a vehicle like an RV in the city. You can stop that, but you can't stop somebody living in a vehicle. That's at least what because they've been fighting this out here forever. They'll never win it. Ain't gonna happen. Yeah, and I've had no problems, man. I was in sorry, I'm drawing a blank, on Manitoulin Island in Ontario. And I'm sitting there by the lake. My doors are open and there's a cop car right in front of me. And I'm sitting there and I come out, take the dog for a walk. And he's like, oh, like your dog. What's your dog's name? He was stoked on the dog. He didn't give a crap that I was sitting there and like camped out. He didn't care. And the same thing in Vancouver too. A lot of them, they just do their own thing. They got better things to worry about than that one van that sleeps there once a month. Move. That's the key. Always keep that vehicle rolling to a new location every single day. Freecampsites.net works as well. Someone just mentioned that one. I don't use any of those kind of sites like that, but it's pretty cool because I don't know a lot. I don't use iOverlander. I don't use any of those things. If I do, it's very, very rare. Like probably like, maybe once or twice a year, I might look at those kind of apps. But that's usually because I'm in a town. I get there late. I might need something quick. You know what I mean? That's when I'll grab one of those apps. But usually if I need something quick and I'm in a town and I don't know the town or just kind of pulled in and I'm tired, I'll just hit a Walmart. I don't give a crap. I don't need the place to be beautiful. I just need the place to be quiet enough that I can get a good night's sleep. Kelly, thanks for that. Super sweet. It's always nice that all the work that we put in over here makes somebody smile. That was worth it. That's it. I'm done. I'm worth it. Kelly's smiling. I'm good now. Okay, bye. I love it. Any update on my sync plans? No, that's going to take me going to Vancouver Island and going to see John at J5 Vans, and seeing if this is a project that's, that he could do. And then plan out the logistics, get him to measure it all out and give me the exact dimensions and what I need exactly for a custom tank to be made. But yeah, I'm in no rush for that. I mean, it is going to be coming up on a bit of a cold snap here, probably in December, January. So I don't want to do that until after winter anyway, because I really don't, it's not a big necessity thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, it'll probably get done before we take off on our next big trip anyway. So probably by, like, I'd like to leave on my next big trip middle of April. I don't know where that's going to be yet. So somewhere. But I'm excited to get that tank. So if you didn't catch it, my nose is itchy. I've been thinking about doing a gray water tank in my van. See down there, there's that little step when you get into the van. I want to put it underneath the van, underneath that step. So right in front of my water jugs over there will be like a hole in the ground, or like a little baby sink sort of thing. So I can pour water down, like from when I'm cooking and stuff. That's the plan at some point in time in my life. Little FaceTime for Cruz. Where is he? Cruzy, where are you, buddy? He's not visible right now. He's in the front seat somewhere. I don't see his face on the side. He's probably leaning up against the window. He likes to sleep leaning up against the window. He's so cute. Super rad, man. Mon Amour Frenchies by Cruzy a cookie. Thank you for that. Cruzy, you got a cookie, bro. Cruzy, I get cookies all the time. He's spoiled rotten. Spoiled rotten. Oh, man, you guys. Anybody got any plans for Halloween? No big parties? I don't know what I'm doing tonight, man. Probably going to sleep away from any hoodlums running around, though, because Halloween night gets to be a bit chaotic down here in the city. So you have lots of fireworks late at night. So I might go find a place out of town somewhere a little bit quieter, away from like the chaos and the madness and all the fireworks. D Walsh just said, and this is probably the best thing I've heard, and I love that. Okay, instead of thinking about stealth, think respectful, not stealth. You know what I mean? I think it's true, though. You're going to have way more success thinking, let's respect everybody around me, respect the places that I park, respect the people that are living around the areas that I park. So another way to put it is don't park like a dick. You'll be fine. But true that, it's just respectful, not stealth. Like, hiding is not a thing. Like, you don't need to hide your lifestyle. And I think that if you're thinking that you need to hide your van lifestyle, then you got deeper things to work on inside of here. Because there's no reason why you should hide this lifestyle. You should be proud of what you're doing. Even when my van was just a simple van, I was super proud of my lifestyle. Proud about the choices that I made. Proud that I was living with plastic cabinets in my van. I didn't care. I was stoked on it. I was excited to show off that I was living in a van. There's no need to hide this stuff, man. None. And I know lots of people. Touristique to Canada. Thanks for that, bro. Appreciate it. Peggy, thank you. Conrad, thank you. You guys have been super generous. I know people in all sorts of industries that live in their vans. I know a school teacher. Me and her chat all the time. Hi. I know we haven't chatted in a few days. Hi. I know a school teacher girl that lives in a van, and everybody at the school that she teaches at, everybody knows that she lives in a van, including the students in her class. All know she lives in a van. And that's the thing, though, like, and she's belongs to the school board. So if you think about it, like, shouldn't that be a problem? But it's not. If you're honest and proud of what you're doing, people on the other side will, you know what I mean? They'll be less creeped out about it if you're proud about it. You know what I mean? If you hide it, then it's like, that's a little creepy. You know, no need to be shy, man. Open up those doors. Let the world know. It's okay to be weird. What do I do to... Johnny, good question. What do I do to occupy my free time? You guys do realize I make everyday videos on YouTube, right? Every day. So free time is not a thing. Not a thing. No. Yeah, I'm doing everyday videos it's a 12-hour day every day. And even if I take a day off, my day off is about a 6-hour work day. So a day off for me means no editing, no uploading. I still have emails. I still got social media. I've still got everything else attached to that stuff. But I have to film on my day off. That's the key. So if I take a day off, that means no editing, no uploading. I literally just, on a day off, I literally free up a few more hours of my day without doing editing and uploading and things like that. But I always have to film on my day off. Always. Because if I don't film on my day off, that means I've got 2 days with no videos. Does that make sense? Right? So you have to always film to kind of keep videos coming out. But that doesn't mean I don't take days off. Like if I were to squeeze out 2 videos today, 2 videos tomorrow, 2 videos the next day, I could afford to take a couple days off without the world knowing that I've stopped making videos. But still on that day off, I still have multiple hours of like the administration side of YouTube. There's a lot that goes on with producing everyday videos. It's insane. Don't do it. It's nuts. Yeah, you have to be a mental case to work on everyday videos. Like crazy. Like I'm a little crazy. Amy, thank you. Ruth, how you doing, Ruth? I'll be coming to Vancouver Island soon. I'll message you. Ryan, no, don't have a drone. Do I want to buy a drone? Yes, of course. One day I will buy a drone. As of right now, not quite yet. That's a big purchase, man. It's like, because I don't want to buy like a small drone. I want to buy one with a real good camera on the front. I don't want to buy like the toy one. Yeah, I'd like to buy a good one if I'm going to do it. And that's like about a $2,000 purchase Canadian for like the DJI Mavic Pro 2. I think what's this called? Mavic Pro 2. Yeah, I don't, something about, like I've thought about buying the DJI Mavic Mini, like a few $100, or the Mavic Air. But then I always like comparing footage and talking to some of my friends that have drones, and it's like something's just like, just buy the good one. Just go out and buy the good one. So we'll see. I don't want to go buy like the $400 one and then all of a sudden I'll be like, well, this is a waste of money. Some people really like them though, but also depends on what you're doing with them though, right? Some people really enjoy them. Like right there, Cindy's like, the Mavic Mini is great. So I don't know. I have some friends that sent me some footage with some of the Mavic Minis, and I wasn't a big fan. I'm like, I don't know if I'd be happy with that. I don't want to spend the money unless I'm going to be happy with it. So I'll research it. I'll try to find some friends that have all the different ones and get them to send me some footage, or come out with me one day and I'll see the footage that it captures before I end up spending $500 or $2,000 on something. Because you can't trust the videos you see on YouTube, because the guys like they'll color grade it or they'll edit it, and you don't really know if that's straight out of camera, right? Thank you for that. I was wondering, was your van built from Happy Camper Kits a sponsor? No, I paid for it. Last year, Andy didn't have a company. When I went out to see Andy last year and he built, hold on, I'm plugged in. Anyway, my main cabinet's where my stove is. When I met Andy last year, Andy did not have a company when I met him. Well, he did, but he didn't do vans. It wasn't his thing. So when I first met Andy and he did these cabinets up here for me, Andy did it because he just wanted to help me out. He knew I just kind of got out of debt, and he was like, bro, let me just build something nice for you. I've got some extra time. So Andy built those ones out of the kindness of his heart. That was not a sponsor. That it was not anything. Andy was just Andy at that time. You know what I mean? And because of my exposure in my videos, Andy built a company with the exposure. So Andy started to get emails from people that wanted more stuff done. So Andy was like, oh, okay. So Andy ran with it. Andy took that little bit of exposure he got on my channel and he ran with it and started a business doing van builds because of the generosity he did. So that was not a sponsorship at all. So when I went back to do all the van build upgrades this year, like the speaker mounts and, you know, just kind of doing the under pull out drawer and stuff underneath my bed and redoing my bed, I paid for all that stuff. A big bill. Professional van build stuff is not cheap. So no, that was not a sponsorship at all. None of it. And a lot of people are like, oh, these companies giving you free stuff all the time. It's not the case, guys. Not the case at all. So when Andy did it, he didn't have a company. Now he does. Now I got a bill. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and I'm always honest with you guys. If I get something for free, I always tell you. I'm like, I didn't pay for this. But yeah, everything that was done to my van this year, I paid for. Everything. We did work together with a few companies, which means we got some discount on some products, but that doesn't mean I didn't pay, like, you know, I got a little bit of a discount, you know, enough worthy to say, hey, look, this is where I bought them from. But yeah, man, we spent a chunk of money this year, a lot of money this year, more than I was expecting to spend. But yeah. And I'm super glad everything worked out with Andy. You know what I mean? Like Andy had no plan to start a van build company when he first built those ones for me. He was just thought he was doing a nice deed for some dude that lives in a van that had home furnishings for cabinets. That's all he just thought he was doing. And then turned into a business for him, which is beautiful. Sorry, guys. Storm, thank you so much for the love. Bold Ariel, thanks for the love. Do you find that you are happier / healthier in life knowing? I never woke up to an alarm anyway. There's a weird thing to say, but I never woke up to an alarm. I've been a 4 a.m. kind of guy my entire life. So even when I used to have my day job that I used to have to be at 7 o'clock in the morning, I never ever woke up to an alarm ever. And it doesn't matter. I could get home from the club at 4 o'clock in the morning and just go to work. But it doesn't matter. Like even if I got home from the club at 3 o'clock in the morning, I would go to bed. I'd be up at 4:30, 4 o'clock. Never failed. It's always been my time. And you know, if I had a club day, I'd have a nap during the day and then whatever. But yeah, I've never been an alarm guy. That's probably been very few times in my life I've ever had to set an alarm. Grumpy old Van, thanks for the super chat. Is it time for tacos and tequila yet? Maybe. If I was parked somewhere that I could sleep, I could probably stay the night here. I probably could. It's not quite tequila time yet. It's a little too early for tequila. It's only 2:30 p.m. here. So, Sarah, thank you for the love. Appreciate it. Storm, thanks again for another one. Thank you. Yeah, so I mean, I do have a few friends now that have companies, and I have no problems throwing them in videos. So you guys have seen Happy Camper Kits in videos this year. You guys have seen Ray Outfitted in videos this year. I have no friends putting my friends in companies. There's Andy right there. What's up, Andy? Happy Camper Kits. Thanks for the beer and bones, bro. But I have no problems putting my friends in videos because, you know, like they're friends of mine and they do damn good work, and I shamelessly throw them in videos. I don't give a crap. They deserve the attention and the publicity. You know what I mean? So like Andy this year, when he was like, hey, Chrome, when you come out, let's like touch up your other cabinets. And then we started talking about doing the big drawer and all these other things. And I have no problems saying, and Andy doesn't pay me for any of those things. Ray Outfitted doesn't pay me to say Ray Outfitted. They don't. I just believe in my friends. And yeah, I love the work that those guys do. So I'll always happily say it. And they're just amazing people. And look, Andy's still throwing me money. Thanks, Andy. Local mainlander, how are you? Living on the road. Thanks for the love, man. Local mainlander, how are you, Chrome? Welcome home, bro. I am doing really great. And it was good to be home for a day. Now it's time to leave. It's time to get out of here. Do I use a gimbal? No. I do have a gimbal, but I don't use it. It's very seldom that I pick up the gimbal and actually purposely use it for a shot, unless it's something that I'm like, okay, this is gimbal worthy. I have gotten, is that the word? I use my tripod, just this little one here. The base of it's a little tight to shut. I use this thing for everything. This is my 100% run and gun kit. Like, never fails. This is what I'm using. But so what I usually do, like when I get my shots, I'll hold it, either hold, but it's always two-handed. And all my shots are always slow moving, always. I don't know if you guys can see it this way. Hold on. Everything I do on my channel is handheld. So like here, like if I want to get this shot here super smooth, I'll just take the camera and just run it super, super slow. That was a bit shaky, but you know, I'll do those shots sometimes a few times. If I want to get from here out, I'll start from right there and I'll just like breathe out when you do it. That was a little bit shaky, but yeah, son, I don't do these things sitting. You get a better stance with your feet. But yeah, if I'm getting a shot over here, I'll just like pan it this way. Always, man, handheld everything. So if you guys are looking at starting a YouTube channel, don't overthink the gear. Get a damn cell phone. Hold it in your hand. It's all you need. People are always like, well, I need a gimbal, and then I need a mic, and then I need lights. You don't need any of that shit. Just take the cell phone you have in your pocket right now, and I don't give a crap what year is it or how old it is. The best camera you own is the one that's in your pocket on your cell phone, right? People want to know the story. They don't really care about that image too well. Not at the beginning anyway. You know what I mean? You can worry about all that fancy stuff later. Like anything else in life, man, start simple. Like, it's crazy that I earn a living. Like, I earn a pretty decent living on YouTube. Like, things have been doing super well over the last year. But to think about it, I earn my living with a cell phone and a laptop. This captures all my images. My laptop edits all my stuff I shoot. It's crazy to think that these two items weigh practically nothing, and this is what I earn my life on. Don't get me wrong. These are like, it's like a $2,000 of a camera sitting there. The iPhone 11 Pros, they're not freaking cheap. Yeah, it's a couple grand Canadian for a camera. I think they're like 1,600 Canadian, or before taxes, 1,700. But yeah, for a phone, a laptop, to earn a living on it, it's pretty damn great. And technically, if I were to break my laptop tomorrow, I could literally do everything on my camera. Everything. I could film, I could edit, everything right here in this little tiny thing. I've done it before. When I first started my channel, I think it was in the very first year, I broke my laptop. I had an old 2012 and it was just not cutting it. It was just like, it had a hard time with it. So I had to edit on my phone. But that was my iPhone 7, I think. Yeah, I had to edit on an app on here for like 3 months until I could afford to buy another laptop. And that's the one that I'm editing on right now. I bought this laptop in 2018. It was 1 year into my van life. Chrome, did you just drop the S-bomb? What's the S-bomb? What did I say? Shit? What kind of mic do I use for voiceovers? Good question. This is my voiceover setup. Believe it or not, this is just a stand for a kick drum microphone for like drums. This little setup here, this is what the hell's the name of the company? It's an SL600 from Editor's Keys. It's just a USB microphone. USB plugs in the bottom there. The other USB plugs into my laptop. This is a little filter to stop the little whatever noise out of your mouth. That's it. These are not cheap. These are about $350 or $400, whatever they are. They're not cheap, but they're a pretty decent microphone. That scared the crap out of me. Did you guys see that? I'm waiting for this to happen when I'm sleeping one night and I get up and I put my fist through the window just to punch somebody in the face. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. You guys laughing at me now? I bet you I was like, I'm gonna have to go find that screenshot it. I bet you it looks like this. Super funny. I edit on Adobe Premiere. Have I had to do a 14-day quarantine? I live in my van. I quarantine everywhere I go. You're okay, Chrome. Drink some tequila. That's nice to know. I wasn't the only one that got scared. That's hilarious. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, van life is constant quarantine. All the time. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, man, we've been live streaming for 2 hours. When am I coming to Mexico? I would love to take a vacation one day, like an actual legitimate vacation. It has been way too long since I've actually like done like a week away. You know what I mean? Like just 2 weeks away with like no work. Who am I kidding? If I went to Mexico, I would vlog the whole time. I would work the whole time. Who am I kidding? Yeah, I would. I don't think I could do a trip like that without documenting it or filming it or anything like that. It wouldn't be possible. I think what I would do on a trip like that, though, is if I know I was going away for like a 7-day all-inclusive, I would literally film my face off before I left. I would upload the 7 videos needed for the 7 days that I was gone away, so I didn't have to edit or upload while I was gone. That way, all I had to do out there was film and have a good day. It would be great. Like, not do any social media, any emails, and just like run around with my camera. I would have a blast. And that would be like 100% vacation. Like, because you got to realize I spend about 3 hours editing every day, plus another 2 hours in front of my computer every day. You know, I got the upload time. So I easily spend 5 to 6 hours in front of my laptop outside of filming. And that's every day. And if you look at it, like that's like just shy of someone's average work day. That'd be fun, man. I should do that. And you got me thinking. Chrome, here we go. Chrome, when are you coming to Europe? Oh, that's hilarious. 93 degrees in Havasu right now. Summertime, baby. Hey, Tracy. That's all right, Tracy. This goes up on the replay anyway. It's all good. You really didn't miss a whole lot. We just been sitting here in the van, chatting our faces off. Chrome, how much for my cabinets? So my entire van build, we're talking like every cabinet in my van, my custom speaker mounts, my 4-foot pull-out drawer, my whole bed frame, my entire van build is about 11,000 Canadian for the entire build. That's including Cruz's bowl too, like everything. That's all the woodworking part of it, not the electrical. So say 10 grand Canadian, 11 grand Canadian. If you're in the US, that's like 50 cents or something. It's not that cheap. But yeah, but about 10, 11 grand, give or take. And still worth it because like, you know, like you can do these things in pieces. You don't have to do it all at once. Like that's a hefty thing. Like I know if I started, the whole thought about me doing a $10,000 van build was I never understood it. I'm like, how could somebody spend 10 grand to build a van? I never got it until I got my hands on a set of professionally built cabinets with dovetailed drawers, and it changed the game, like literally changed the game. Before that, I had these cheesy little dresser drawers that I L-bracketed to my floor. And as soon as I got them, I changed the game. And like you would have heard me 3 years ago tell you, yeah, I don't understand these guys spending all that money. Now I get it. And if I were to ever build another van, there's no freaking way I'd do it myself. Heck no. No way. Not a chance. And I would wait to get the other van until I knew I could afford to do everything, all of it, the build, the electrical, the everything. But I don't think I would DIY it myself. There's just way too much work involved in DIYing an entire van, especially when you've when you've got what I've got in my van. So my next van would obviously be better than this one, which means, well, that would take me like 2 years to build that van if I DIY'd it. You know what I mean? So that's the great thing about doing like a set of cabinets. You know what I mean? The only wait time you have for the cabinets is how long the cabinet makers are behind on projects. You know what I mean? So like you might reach him out. He'd be like, look, man, we can have your cabinets to you in 6 months. It's not like it takes 6 months to build, but if they have 6 months worth of work in front of you, then it is what it is. But yeah, I don't think I would ever DIY a van. Like, and if you look at anything we've done to my van on my channel, I've always been in front of a company. Like when I wanted to do the ceiling on my van, I messaged J5 Custom Vans in Victoria. Sorry, they're in Vancouver Island, not Victoria. On Vancouver Island, because he's close, he's here, and his timeline worked out right in the round of the time that I needed to get it done. It was great. But that's this thing is you do them as you can afford it. Like I didn't do this at the beginning. I had the option, but I didn't. I chose to just do a spray glued material on the roof that actually kind of just worked. But that's the thing when it comes to starting your van life, people always think, well, 10 grand for the van, 10 grand for just the woodworking in my van. They're like, this is overwhelming. That's why you got to live on the floor for a while. Save that money, then do it. Is my ceiling insulated? Yeah, there's 2 half-inch layers of like 4x8 foot foam insulation in the roof. It's like just the regular styrofoam insulation. It was the cheap. There was like $13 a sheet or something like that when I bought it, and it worked. You know what I mean? Like I heard a saying about insulation. The best insulation to use in your van, the best insulation is insulation installed, meaning that you're better to install whatever you have available and whatever you can afford than to do none. The best insulation used is the one that you have installed. And when I heard that, I was like, it was so perfect, to choose the insulation that you feel right about using. Some people are like, well, you have to use all natural wool. Some people are like, oh, you have to use this. Use what you feel right using. There's no right or wrong answer. Everybody's going to have their own opinions on it. Just do what you feel right. I used cheap $13 sheets of foam, styrofoam, like white styrofoam on my roof, and part of my walls are done with it too. Zero problems. So it's got like a green plastic on one side, a foil plastic on the other, white styrofoam in the middle, and it's worked. I am not complaining. 3 years in my van. I'm going into winter number 4 this year with my freaking styrofoam that everybody was like, that's a bad idea. It worked. It's what I could afford. It's what I had available in my budget, and it's what I felt comfortable with buying. So that's what I did. It worked. Oh, I seen a comment that says something about a fan. Chrome, what is your fan? Oh, that one back there? That is a Caframo Sirocco 2 fan. The links to those are on our website at vancityvanlife.ca. I have a section that says van. Go in there. Links to everything I've got is on there. But that is a Canadian manufactured company. I did a factory tour of their factory. So if you want to see that, just go on my channel and write Caframo, Caframo. I did a tour of their factory in Ontario last year. Great, great people, but they're manufactured right here in Canada. They're in Ontario. I love that fan. There's 2 different kinds. They make the Sirocco 2, which is, they're about $150 Canadian. And then they make the Sirocco 2 Elite, which that's the brushless motor one. They're a little bit more expensive, but they look the same as the cheaper one. I had the cheaper one first, and then when I did the factory tour, he gave me the little sneak peek of that one. I don't think that one was even out yet when he gave me some. So yeah, I swapped it out, and now that's the brushless one. Those are like $300 or something. They're expensive. But the other one, the same ones, the Sirocco 2, same fan, just it's a great fan. Just doesn't have a brushless motor, which doesn't really make a difference to me. I'm sure in the long run, these ones will last longer, but ideally it's $150 fan, so worth it. I love that thing. And if you've never seen it, probably won't be able to. It's probably not great here, but it's got a little latch on the side here. Whoop, I turned it on. Shut off now. got a little latch here, so you can lie it completely flat against the wall, like it's totally flat. Then you pull it out to wherever you want it, put the latch back in, but then this turns every direction. You see it? Turns that way, turns this way, any which way you want. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, and it just flat packs. Put it right against the wall down there. Done deal. There you go. It's out of the way. Flat against the wall. They're actually really good, man. I love that fan. Love it, love it, love it. And you'll notice a lot of vans in Canada will have those because they're just so good. Yeah, Dora. Dora just said, Andy said you can take the cabinets out and put them into the new home. That is very true. So if I were to upgrade a van, I could literally gut this entire thing and put it into the new van. Sure, some of the top pieces may need to be, you know, remolded or redone, but for the most part, the gist of these cabinets can be mounted in any van that I move into. Obviously with some changes. But depends on what kind of van you have. Like for me, I don't know if I would take it into the next van or if I would just sell this one just the way it is. I have a funny feeling I'm going to have this van for a long, long time, though. I have no plans on upgrading it anytime soon. Oh, guys, so we've been doing it like 2 hours and 20 minutes. The only thing I find hard about doing live streams is continually talking. Because when I get off a live stream, the last thing I want to do after this is talk. And the funny thing is I have to finish a video today. I've got a video that I have to go vlog after this, which means I better keep some of my talking power for making my video. You guys ever get that when you talk a lot and you get the muscles right here get a little bit sore? Like right here, I can feel it. Like it just, I don't know if all the talking gets, anyway, whatever. Did I ever fix the squeaky noise in my cabinet? Yeah, so what it was this cabinet here was rubbing up against the wall. So, and that's the thing, as soon as you put in cabinets, you may not get a squeak for a while, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, you'll get a random squeak for no reason. You just got to find that little area and shim it out a little bit. You're good to go. So I literally wedged a piece of paper towel in there, and it's been fine. Another spot in my van that I get a squeak once in a while is right here. See where that board touches that cabinet? Sometimes I get a squeak there. Not all the time, but every once in a while it'll start to squeak. So the option there too is to take that down and cut it so there's a fat gap. Or you just wait until it rubs up enough in there and it just kind of stops. So it actually stopped on its own. Yeah, you always get a little occasional squeak here. It's never the cabinet that squeaks. Come on, man. Those things from Andy's are rock solid. Like the stuff from Happy Camper Kids are dovetailed. Those things are like, I could probably huck that down a cliff, and the drawers, at least, the drawers themselves would probably be intact at the bottom. They're quite a hefty cabinet. It's always where it touches other things, like the wall. Because the wall here, the wall moves. Like it's not like this wall is attached to another wall. This is it's hollow. There's a space behind there because the wall curves, right? The outside of the van's got weird little body lines. Cruzzy. He woke up. He thought someone was knocking on the door. Cruzzy, people want to see you, bro. Hey, nobody's at the door, buddy. You'll get up because you think somebody's at the door. It's not. It's just us, bud. Can you guys even see him? Am I even pointing the camera at him? I'm probably not, am I? There he is. Cruzzy. Hey, buddy. There's nobody here, bro. It's just us. You do stare at the door. There's nobody there. It was me. Look, it was me. I did it over here. That was me. Sorry to disappoint you. He's got that look. He's like, really, Dad? I got up for that? Come here, buddy. No, he's mad at me now. Yep, pizza on the stove. This is my lunch. As soon as I get off this live stream, I'm going to be throwing this in the cast iron pan. Super excited. I do it right now, but it's super hot. I'd rather cook that with the doors open. because it's super warm in my van right now. Like, it's hot out today. Hey Siri, what's the temperature outside?
It's 11 degrees right now.
It's warm. The sun's beating on my van. It's pretty good. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for watching the live stream. Check out our website, vancityvanlife.ca. We've been working on it little bit by little bit. We're going to be adding more and more stuff to it. All the links to everything we have is on there. We're going to be doing a big fat story about me. So if people don't know the backstory behind us, that will all be on there pretty soon. I have somebody that's working on writing that for me. We're going to work on that a little bit this week. But yeah, check out the website, guys. Super awesome. All of our merch stuff is also on there too. These are awesome, dude. Guys, gotta rock this shirt. This is probably one of the best ones that I've got right now. I'm super stoked on it. This is a brand new shirt. I just got this from Teespring the other day. I like it. Super great. Anyway, guys, thanks for everything. And thanks for all your suggestions. And I have a few things that you guys suggested I put on the website. I'm going to be doing that too. And yeah, we're going to go 2.5 hours on live stream. I'm done. Time to go make that pizza, baby. All right, you guys, thanks for everything. And tomorrow's video is a good video, actually. Tomorrow's video is an update on Jeffy Bear and also a really rad walk downtown. And we went and filmed something downtown Vancouver, a huge $4.8 million piece of artwork hanging from the bottom of a bridge. I'll leave you with that. That'll be in tomorrow's video, too. It's a fun one. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for everybody who gave us some super chats and some love. Appreciate it. See you guys soon. Bye. End it. Boom.